Previously on the STI, we installed a Noble OE wing to complete the true STI look. We also added a gloss black license plate frame, some exhaust finishers, a carbon fiber emblem, and a touch more black with the Subaru logo. But we missed one minor detail, an F1 light. So let's dive right in, get this car lifted up so we can pull out the old one and get the new one ready to install.
This liner is so dirty.
Even if you don't already have a light installed, you do have to remove this back liner, and there's 3 pop clips holding it in place. Once the clips are removed, it pops right out. To gain access to the tail light harness, you do need to remove the inner liner. There's 3 pop clips, one towards the tail light, one on top of the trunk, and then one on the bottom left. Removing these 3 clips will allow you to peel back the liner, but you won't remove it completely. And because I have a light installed currently, I simply have to disconnect all the wiring, take all those wires out, unmount it from the car, and pull it out, all while trying to dodge every dirt chunk that falls out from the bumper into my eyes.
So I did remove my current F1 light, but if you're running stock, you're gonna have this plastic piece in the bumper. There's 2 clips on the top and it pops right out. So the biggest difference between the current F1 light I have and the Noble one is going to be the design. The Noble one has a much more aggressive design and the OLM one has a much simpler design. I do like both designs, however, I do like that more aggressive look that the Noble version has, so it's time for an upgrade. The overall install is extremely easy. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the plug and play harness, which is gonna mean no splicing of wires. You're just gonna plug it right in, and it includes the mounting frame and all the bolts to mount it up.
There is a C-style clip that pops into the passenger side of the bumper, and it's going to be facing inlet in. So I made this mistake the first time, but the actual mounting frame goes on the outside edges of where you're clipping it in. Once the frame is positioned on the driver's side, there's a pop clip that once it pops in, it holds everything in place. Using one of the supplied bolts, you'll secure the passenger side where you put that C-clip with one of those bolts. It's hard to reach, but you can get your hand up there if you pull down the bumper far enough, and you just tighten it down and snug. With the main harness, you're basically going to unplug the light from the current connector and just plug this in. You can't go wrong because they only go on one way. With the longer wire, the connector is the same on both sides, so you simply plug either side in and route it down through the trunk. Once you have the F1 light plugged into the harness, it simply pops right into the bumper. And to make sure it's fully secured, there's 2 more bolts. One's going to go in the bottom left of the back of the bracket into the F1 light, and one's going in the top right. It is hard to reach, but you can pull the bumper back. You'll probably drop the bolt a couple of times, but you can tighten both of them down by hand. And then I use a small socket and wrench to just tighten it down to snug. To clean up the wiring, I simply use the included zip ties to mount them to the back of the trunk so they're nice and tidy and they don't move around. And then simply everything's going to go back together just by putting all the pop clips back into the trunk and underneath the car. There is 2 modes that's going to be included with this F1 light. One will make it blink, and then one will make it solid when you hit that brake. To switch between the solid and the blinking light modes, you simply press on the brake, and while holding it, you'll flip the switch of the lights from auto to on 3 times.
We are officially complete with the transformation of the rear end of the STI, but we have a few more small mods to add. Well, maybe not so small.